going on out there, YouTube? This is SEO0320 representing JVS. I'm back at it again for a brand new TV show review of, which I knew I should have done it before I left to go to New York Comic Con, but boy, I didn't do it. The Arrow. I really need to actually watch Empire too. Crap. So tonight, it's a brand new episode of Arrow, which y'all gonna get a double dose. So essentially, y'all gonna be able to watch my back-to-back reviews for Arrow and I guess Empire as well, because that's gonna be at 9 o'clock. So this is my early review for the first episode of the season premiere of the third season. Excuse me, for Arrow. Hey, actually no, it's not the third season, it's the fourth season. What did I think about the episode? I actually really liked the episode. I thought that I wouldn't like it. I don't know why. Going into this, I really thought that I wouldn't like the episode for whatever reason. I felt like it was going to be like really campish. I was like, looking at the trailers, it wasn't too much that kind of, you know, got me into the feel of it. But when I actually started to see the action going, when I actually started seeing like Diggle and Thea making a mark for themselves and doing what they have to do, as well as watching like Oliver genuinely happy. This is the first time I actually saw Stephen Amell seriously just smiling and laughing and enjoying himself. Like I'm seeing him running. One of the first opening shots was him running through what I thought was like the wilderness, you know. It was just like some woods. He was just taking a regular stroll. He goes up to Felicity. He's like, yeah, it's the first time I'm actually kind of getting used to, you know, like running, not pursuing somebody, just running for exercise. And I thought it was so funny. Their interactions seemed so much more natural. It seemed so much more dynamic, and I love them together. Actually, I'm like now more of a shipper of them than I was before, because I didn't like the way that Felicity was acting. She wasn't acting like Felicity that I knew of. Like, she just was all over the place. But in this episode, like, she was clunky, she was funny, she was really attractive. It seems like times she's the same Felicity, the tech nerd that wants to do the right thing. And even like when they were in their like their place of bliss, you know what I'm saying, like in their house, like they just genuinely look naturally fun and happy together, you know. It was a really touching moment. I really liked that. There wasn't too many things I didn't like about this episode. Even like the villain, I thought that Damien Dark was kind of be like a really campish like addition to this, you know what I'm saying? But I actually really liked it. What is the guy's name? Neil, what is his name? Neil McDonough? I never know how to pronounce his name right. But him as Damien Dark, I actually like it. Because Oliver basically had assessed that this is not a metahuman, that he's part of mysticism. And he kind of said, he's like, I've seen things, essentially. But I loved Arrow or Oliver getting acclimated with being back in the fold with the group, because he had put all that stuff behind him. And he basically, one of the reasons why I justify him doing what he did and moving away is that he did not want to become this animal or this place of darkness to be who he had to be. Like people had said, I think Diggle and even like Laurel Lance's Detective Lance, or not detective anymore, Lance anyway, that's what I'm gonna call him. It basically said that like he bred all these villains from his madness that he brought into the city. He brought the darkness, you know. And basically Oliver had told Felicity, he's like, I don't know how to fight, you know, the darkness without becoming it myself. Like that's what I've used. I've used the darkness within myself to fight and combat the enemy that's around me. And she basically kind of told him there's a different way. And when they finally showed like, you know, the group in action, I thought that Diggle's like helmet was gonna be so cheesy, you know, and it wasn't. It really wasn't. But I don't know the reason for it, because he's kind of still just wearing a leather jacket, and I mean I like his gun. Like it's really cool looking. Like it's not like a regular two-piece. Like it seems like it is useful for different things. But I'm willing to bet y'all that his helmet has a better use. I feel like there's something more with his helmet as far as a protection standpoint is concerned. But Oliver's new costume was actually pretty legit too. Like I was like, Oliver was kind of implying like, I'm not going to be a part of this. I really just want to leave. And I like that about the fact that he wants to keep and embrace the level of lightness and the just living life, you know. And I like that because it makes him really balanced now. Like he's not just doing it because he's tortured and doing it. He's doing it because he knows he has a responsibility to take care of people, to save his city, to protect, you know. And I really like that, because now he's got a different kind of edge to him. It's not just like he's going to be doing it because, you know, he's dealing with the animosity of the environment around him, but he's doing it because he wants to protect. And I like that. I like the whole process that Oliver is going with all of this. I really like this episode. Even to the very end, like the action set pieces were awesome. Like when they were trying to take down this truck, like this Diggle, Speedy, and Lord have mercy, the Black Canary. When they took out the back wheels of this truck, and I saw like Diggle in the truck, I was like, yo, this is huge. But not just that, the CG was on point as well. Like there were points where Oliver jumped onto a moving train and the CG did not look bad. Like it actually looked legit. It was like, one of the things I said in the Flash review is that I love the fact that the effects in it showed like really Barry actually moving, and instead of like a really crazy blur. In this one, like they had a decent CG version of the Arrow moving and reacting. And I thought that was really cool because that's one of the elements they haven't added to it, because it's all been practical effects. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like, for me to kind of believe like this dude can do almost anything, I want to be able to see his mobility go a little bit further as well. And that set piece was awesome. And I mean, I thought it was kind of a cop-out the way they had to take out the train eventually, but just the interaction with Oliver versus Damien Darhk was like, dude, this dude is actually a threat. You gotta really watch out for him. And to see what he's gonna do and the person he's interacting with, that's gonna be even more cooler to see where this is all gonna go, because I didn't see that coming. Like, I really didn't. But one thing that kind of blew my mind is Barry showed up at the end of the episode and they talk about, what was it, 6 years later? 6 months later? I can't remember if it was 6 months or 6 years, but just in the revelation of, I don't know who that is in that grave, I'm like, wow, you know? And there's only one other episode or one other series that kind of did that to me that I just looked at the episode for, and that was Vampire Diaries. And I think I want to do a review for that. So I think I might do my review on Vampire Diaries now while I still got it fresh in my head. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Oh, what did I give it a review for? I actually give it a 9 out of 10. I actually really like this episode. I'm hoping the next episode, you know, picks back up. I don't know where it's going to lead into because I haven't looked at the previews for it. But it is about to come on, so I'm about to get on that, and y'all be able to get a double dose of the Arrow tonight. So, yeah, and he officially called himself the Green Arrow, and that was so awesome. Anyway, give it a 9 out of 10. Hopefully you enjoyed my review for it. Leave a like below if you did. Leave your comments what you thought about the episode. And it's a lot more to come because I got one more part of this because I'm about to do the next episode. Later, y'all. I'll be right back. Oh boy, hey, what's going on out there, YouTube? This is SCL0320 representing JVS. I'm back at it again for a brand new TV show review for The Arrow. This is the second episode of the 4th season. The name of this episode was called The Candidate. Basically what it's around is that I think it's been like 3 different mayors that's trying to actually be a part of Starling City or Star City. And each one of them has been killed. And you got a brand new player by the name of, what is her name? I know the actual actress name is Jerry Ryan, but her name is Jessica. She's really close friends with Oliver and Thea. Knew their mom, really loved their mom, and she was thinking that she really wanted to, you know, put herself in the limelight and be a protector of the city. That the city needs something to look up to. That the Arrow, even though he's protecting lives, he needs to be a forefront of hope, a level of hope. And it's interesting watching the Arrow, or not the Arrow, but Oliver's expression when she started talking about this, because it was like, do you not know how much danger you're gonna be in? And then sure enough, things start to unravel, and as soon as she announces her candidacy, she gets shot at. And you find out that there's a new player by the name of Lonnie Mockin. If any of y'all know, Lonnie Mockin is actually the Anarchist. Anarchy is the DC villain that is going to be spearheaded in this episode. And I actually liked him because, like, dude, he could actually fight. Like, he was actually legitimately crazy, yet at the same exact time, like, he could hold his own, and it was believable. I think when they were doing a lot of the Vertigo, and then you had like a Vertigo 2.0, it kind of got really old, but this dude, he actually was holding his own. And at the same exact time, he had this kind of alliance with Damien Darhk, and you could tell they were even butting heads because this dude was kind of just out there. And even the fight sequences in this one was actually done really well. It wasn't as good as the first episode, the first season, but the fight sequences with Thea, with Oliver, and even like the flashback sequences, which I thought that, like, the more I'm looking at these flashback sequences, Oliver is looking like a villain, like he's just a straight killer. And I like that because by the end of this series, whenever they end or whenever they stop these flashbacks, which I think the flashbacks are going to end before the series ends, because they said that they were going to try to end them around the same exact time the end of the series. I think the flashbacks are going to end with basically you're going to see this basically killer, you know, in a hood. And then you're going to see Oliver Queen as the Oliver Queen that we know. I hope he actually grows like a long beard later on. But generally, the bulk of this one was really about what's really going on with Thea. And the fact that Thea, she went, of course, through the Lazarus Pit, and that is having its toll on her. She's dealing with the effects even 6 months later on that just now get to a point where she's just getting really physical and really just out there. Like she almost killed somebody. She literally broke a dude's arm just trying to interrogate him just because. And then she burnt somebody alive, all in just this episode. Matter of fact, there's this real big altercation that she has with Oliver, and like it was well acted to me. Like I think that the scenes when I see the person that plays Thea, when she gets mad, like I see her acting ability really come out, especially in this one. It was scary. It was downright straight up scary. But it was really interesting scene because there was a lot of passion between both of them. One thing I thought it was really distracting this episode, I felt like Stephen Amell had eyeliner. I don't know if y'all noticed it or not, but either way, that's a nitpicky kind of thing. But you do find out that Quentin Lance, or Laurel's dad, is trying to trust Oliver, but he's in league with, honestly, Damien Dark, and at the same exact time, like he doesn't know where Oliver is with this whole entire thing. But at some point, Jerry Ryan's daughter gets kidnapped, and all hell breaks loose after that point because it's all the anarchists. And that whole entire set piece and the way this whole episode actually gone through, it was all to this build up towards the end of the episode where it surrounded like, okay, Thea finally got the realization of like, okay, this Lazarus Pit brought her back from the dead technically, but Laurel never knew because at the time Laurel was kind of all over herself, and now that she knows, towards the end of the episode, you can see that I think her idea is like, I'm going to put Sarah into this. And of course, for the Legend of Tomorrow to actually exist, that's going to have to happen. But what's even funnier is the fact that they still don't know that Ray's still alive. And so at some point, I'm thinking this new edition, which Felicity has her go-to time in this one as well because she's trying to run Palmer Consolidated. And you find out that basically they have so many drawbacks that they have to cut people, and here comes a brand new person that will eventually become a hero, and eventually it's called Curtis Holt. They've changed his sexuality, and I mean I think he's negligible as far as height and stuff like that, but Mr. Terrific is the person that I'm talking about, and he's going to play a big role later on in this series, especially his connection with Felicity. I actually really like their dynamics together, but I think he's going to be the one to try to help out with trying to find where Ray is. But I actually liked the episode. I didn't have any real problems with it. I think it wasn't as strong as the first episode, but it was just as good. I mean, it's a lot of things that they're going to be playing into. So I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I did like it. Hopefully you enjoyed both of my reviews for both episodes of season 4. If you have any comments or questions, leave it in the comment section below. Leave your like if you actually like this review. And I love y'all. Have a blessed night. I will not be doing my review for Empire tonight because I don't have time, so I'll have to wait till tomorrow. Later, y'all. This is JVS. We out.